Strummer Dundee here, and today we're talking about Renaissance festivals. Specifically, my first Renaissance festival from this year. I've always wanted to go to the Renaissance Festival. I've researched them. I was always looking for places online to buy clothes for Renaissance Festival. It was always something that was just really interesting to me. I love history. I love steampunk stuff, which often is also at Renaissance festivals. Medieval history, fashion, crafts, all the sort of things you can do, the food. I just loved it. But I never really had a chance to go until this past year. I went to the Bay Area Renaissance Festival. It is in Tampa, right next to the Museum of Science and Industry. And when I went, I didn't have this outfit, but when I left, I did. So this is going to be overall my experience at that Renaissance Festival and some kind of tips I've learned for the next time I go, which will be next year, hopefully sooner, but probably gonna have to wait till next year. So first thing that I really enjoyed at the Renaissance Festival was everyone is in on it. Like, I saw very few kind of disinterested looking people walking around. Like, if you're there to have fun. You are there to be entertained. You are there to eat. You're there to see stuff. So everyone was really just enjoying themselves, and it was a very cool atmosphere. Where I was, and I don't know if this is the case with all Renaissance festivals, but where I was, it was a very large open place where you could walk around. It was kind of dusty, not a lot of grass underfoot. There were things like a jousting arena where you could see people actually do a much safer version of the medieval joust. There were lines where you can practice things like knife throwing and axe throwing and even like the ninja star throwing. I tried to do the knife, the dagger throwing or whatever. I was terrible at it. I have no hand-eye coordination, but it was fun, and there was like a line of kids next to me doing the same thing. There are also lots of crafts and things you can buy, and it ranges from like kind of cheesy like dragon sculptures and incense burners all the way to really beautiful clothes and walking sticks and like blunted weapons and things for kids. Just really cool stuff. I was, of course, super into the clothes. I have always wanted a kind of Renaissance fair outfit. For as long as I can remember, I would always go on probably Etsy and also medievalcollectibles.com to really see what they had to offer, and I always knew I kind of wanted a dress, and I like the idea of corsets and bodice, things like that. So what I'm wearing kind of a basic like peasant style dress. It just has some little like ribbons and other embellishments. You can wear it off the shoulder, you can wear it pulled up. And this is a reversible bodice, so it's kind of like almost a corduroy fabric, and on the inside it's this dark brown, and on the outside it's this kind of orangey goldish color with a very dark green embroidery on the inside. And it has the lacing that goes up, and it's pretty comfortable, surprisingly. But this was expensive. Like, if you are planning on buying Renaissance Festival clothes either at the Renaissance Festival or online, it's going to be expensive. And this was about the same price as what I would see online. So keep that in mind if you're considering buying clothes. They are going to be investment pieces. Now, the dress, if I really, really wanted to, and if I had way more sewing skills, I probably could have made this dress for like $15 or $20, including getting the little ribbon and stuff like that. Doable. This bodice thing, no way. There's steel boning in it. It's a really difficult to work with fabric, the embroidery. I couldn't have done it, so I think it was worth the money. But it's the same thing like with conventions. You can either go and buy pieces that are really well made, or you can try to make it yourself. Now, the first thing I actually bought was this right here, this kind of flower crown. And I saw them, and I thought they were really cool. It's basically just floral wire going around and some really nice flowers attached to it. It had a ribbon going down the back, which is what I wore on that day, but it's kind of hard to deal with the ribbon always back there, especially when I have short hair, so it's not like it's blending in with my hair. So I eventually took the ribbon off. But everything is very nice and handmade. You get to see lots of artists there, much like at a convention. You can look at their business cards and see if they have like Etsy stores or any kind of online stores. Really fun. Other parts of the experience I really liked. There was a lot of, I don't know how to, actors, I guess. And again, first time I've ever been to a Renaissance festival. There was an improv group doing like improv comedy, but medieval style. So they stopped me and my mom as we were walking by and they like asked us, what does this scene look like? Or how do you want to change it? And so my mom ended up making it into like the nativity scene, and they had like this little doll thing, and then suddenly it was like the birth of Jesus, and they were pretending to be donkeys and sheep and wise men and things like that. And then they told us to change it. My mom said it looked like the Indy 500, so then they were racing around on each other, but as horses, and it was really cute. And some poetry being recited during a magic show. So they were sawing a woman in half, but they were reading love poems at the same time. There was like acrobats, gymnastic type stuff. There was a bird show, which I loved. I really wanted to see more of the bird show because they had these huge falcons and owls, and it was from the National Animal Preservation Society that's kind of based out of the museum and the college right next to where the Renaissance Festival was. So I was really excited to see that. That was so cool. And that was just the basic stuff that came with the price of admission. If you wanted to go further, there were things like there was some kind of quest you can sign up for. I think it was mostly for like kids under 12, but you could like get treasure and collect things and like do battles. There's also afternoon tea you can have with the royalty. There was a queen there in her court, so you could do that in addition. So there's a lot of fun things. The food was really nice. I was surprised. Like, I didn't really know what to expect, I guess. But it seems like for Renaissance Festival food, you can either go with having a giant turkey leg that you're eating on and looking very Henry VIII, I suppose. There were these huge pickles, which I really wanted because I love pickles. You could walk around and eat those. And then they just had like whatever else. There was like shepherd's pie, there were hamburgers. My mom and I actually got tacos, which is really nice. They were actually really good, kind of authentic tacos. It was really interesting, but I liked that. As far as drinks, I felt like to just buy a regular drink, it was kind of price gougy, but they also did have like a bar and things like that. Lots of people drinking mead and craft brew, and you can tell that was kind of its own subculture, especially with the people who dress very like Viking-like or very bard-like. They're usually at the tavern. They also had a band at the tavern too, so that was really neat. I definitely want to go back next year and do more stuff. Oh, I forgot like the biggest thing, or a couple more things. They had a cute petting zoo. It was things like llamas and goats and donkeys, and they were really cute. You could feed them, and they were super friendly, and they were just chilling out. They seemed like they were being treated very well. And there was also this, I can't remember what it was called. It's like the Wheel of Death. It was this big, like, swing sort of thing, huge, like goes 50 feet up into the air, that this guy would balance on and do tricks, and he would turn it, and it was really, really neat. He would juggle things while he was up there, and you could see that from most of the central locations, if you were looking up that way. So all of that was really cool. If any of that sounds interesting to you, I really recommend looking up a Renaissance Festival in your area because it really didn't cost that much. I think it was under $20 for a ticket. I could have stayed there for a very long time. There was just so much stuff to look and see and do and buy and eat and enjoy. Now, a few tips. Again, this was my first time going, so I had like a general idea of what the place was like from other people who have gone, but I hadn't experienced it for myself. So, a number one thing, and this is what I already knew beforehand, make sure you are wearing very good shoes, and particularly shoes that maybe have like a little bit of height or they have traction or something, because Renaissance festivals are generally going to be outside. And they're generally going to be in maybe kind of dusty, sandy type areas. In Florida, there's going to be sand, there's might be clay, there might be like dirt. So I definitely wore like some black boots, and they were really good at making sure that I wasn't, when I did buy the dress and put it on, that it wasn't dragging around on the ground, and that I didn't mind if my boots got dirty necessarily. So I wouldn't maybe necessarily wear flip-flops because your feet are going to be filthy unless you're fine with that, or like any kind of delicate shoes, even flats. I'd really recommend like a good solid boot. Plus, if you end up buying clothes, boots usually go with Renaissance Festival clothes. I would think so. Anyway. Second thing is just basic outdoor stuff like water and sunscreen. Now this place, since they sold food and drink, you could bring in like a bottle of water or like a reusable bottle or whatever. And that was about it. You couldn't bring in a whole lot of stuff. Otherwise you had to go back to the cooler in your car to get it. But make sure you're staying hydrated and make sure you have sunscreen. Now, I'm sunburned right now. I don't know if it's picking up on camera. I'm sunburned like all throughout here and like maybe a little bit on my face, but that was from something else. I did wear sunscreen when I went on the actual day. And like if there's kids or anything, make sure you're reapplying on them, reapplying on yourself. Just make sure you don't get sunburned. Another thing is, this might not matter to everyone else, there is going to be drinking. I didn't see anyone drunk when I was there, but then again, we were only there until maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm sure if you're there towards the end of the day, I think this Renaissance Festival ended at like 6 o'clock. There might be some people who have been drinking since like noon, so keep that in mind. They might be a little silly. My mom and I did meet some people, like there was a group, they were very like pirate dressed, and there was this guy who was like hell-bent on giving everyone hugs. So I don't know if that's just what he's like or if he had a little bit too much to drink, but that was it. So, whatever, but just keep that in mind that if you bring children there or someone who is going to be bothered by that, there are going to be people drinking there, and I don't think there's really a limit on how much they can drink. But at least in my case, the Renaissance Festival I went at, it ended kind of early, so that kind of subverted a lot of that. Another tip is to think about bags and things you're bringing in. So when I first went, I had this little owl backpack. It's very simple. It's got a drawstring. You put stuff in it. It's got a pocket on the outside. And that's where I had like tickets and money and change and everything like that. It goes on your back. It's really easy. This is very nice to have, a little backpack or drawstring bag. Doesn't really look very good with a costume or Renaissance Festival wear, so that might be something you need to consider if you are dressing up. Now, as for me, I know the next time that I'm going, I either want to have like a drawstring pouch that I can wear as a belt, like goes like around my bodice thing that I wear, or I do want to have like a big basket. I do have a big sewing basket, but I think like a big wicker basket with a top that I can just carry around on my arm would probably be fine. So consider either like a backpack or something pretty sturdy if you're not dressed up. If you are dressed up, think about what goes with it and what can really work for you. And my last tip is to just relax, have fun. I was kind of concerned with trying to see everything the first time, and looking back, like, I think it went okay. I didn't need to, like, schedule everything and, like, oh, we need to see the joust at this time, and the animals are going to be over here, and then we can eat lunch at this time. Just kind of really go with the flow, and don't be afraid to spend, like, a long time there if you want. Also, this applies to silly things. I kind of wanted to get my face painted while I was there. There was, like, face painting booths, and they even, like, applied elf ears and things like that. And mostly it was kids sitting down, but I kind of really wanted to do that. I wanted to get my face painted. I wanted to get elf ears put on. I wanted to do a lot of silly things that I didn't do because I'm like, well, I shouldn't spend the money right now, or why get my face painted when I'm going to be leaving in a couple hours? Just enjoy it. Just go for it and have a good time. Like, don't do anything stupid, but enjoy yourself. If you're holding back, like, oh, I shouldn't really do something, maybe just do it for this day. Like, this outfit, it was pretty expensive. I had, like, just bought the Nintendo Switch, and then I spent a lot of money on this outfit and the flower crown and everything. But, it makes me really happy. And I'm not going to go buy a million more outfits. Like, this is probably the only thing I'm wearing to a Renaissance Festival, at least for the next 5 years, if not longer, provided I don't like lose or gain a bunch of weight. This is it. So I think it was worth it in the end. So those are my tips for attending a Renaissance festival. Make sure you're just going with the flow. Make sure you have sunscreen, good shoes, and just don't worry too much. It really can be a fun experience. Don't overanalyze it. Yes, it's historically inaccurate. Yes, there's going to be like people walking around looking silly and talking silly and acting silly. That's okay. It's silly. The whole idea is silly. Doesn't make any sort of logical sense. It's all right. The Vikings are going to be walking right by some pirates, who are going to be walking right by some Tudors, who are going to be walking by like crazy steampunk people who don't really fit any particular time period. It's okay. Put on some glitter, put a feather in your hat, wear a flower crown, just go for it. That's my last advice. So that's all for me for today. I'll see you in another video. Bye.